Hello, I am Kevin Polky, and I am the host of The Journey. And as we've talked many times on The Journey, this is a platform, a show that talks about stories of transformation and talks about how individuals who have um, learned about themselves because of some type of setback or some type of obstacle that they had to overcome. What I want to talk about today is how do we navigate through those time periods when we have setbacks? How do we utilize the time period to ground ourselves during the time period um, that this time period that we're currently going through, if it is a setback, how do we then be mindful and recognize it that this will be part of the story that we'll tell at a later date? And I think one of the things that I know for me is that regardless if it's some type of setback, regardless if it's business or if it's physically or if it's personal, that typically or almost always my response to that setback is that it's initially perceived as a threat. And when I'm in that threat response mode, my adrenaline's pumping, my mind may be starting to race, and I start what ifing what may be happening. That before I do anything else is where I need to help um, my brain as well as my body um, prepare for whatever's going on. In other words, if it, for me to step back from it and make sure that I just do something as simple as breathe. And so, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring you through a breathing exercise that I'd like you to just follow along. It was taught to me, I don't even know how many years ago now, but it's called a handful of different things. Sometimes it's referred to as box breathing, other times it's referred to as combat breathing. And it's very simple, simplistic process of breathing in through your nose to the count of four, holding for the count of four, blowing out through the count of four, and then holding for the count of four for four times. In this particular time period, what I'd like you to do is kind of just wherever you're at right now, I want you to think about on a scale of 1 to 10, where where's your anxiety level? Uh, uh, where are you at as far as feeling distressed? Is it a 10, super high, or is it a 1 or a 2? Um, Obviously, not feeling threatened at all. Wherever that is, just note that number. Okay. Now, in this particular case, if you are obviously if you're listening to this while you're driving or doing something, obviously I want to make sure that you keep your eyes open, paying attention to what you're doing. If you are in a space where you can close your eyes or focus on one particular thing, a focal point, I would invite you to do that. And if you are operating, a car or something like that, just note this and come back and do this exercise later. But you'll get the mechanics of it as we're doing it right now. So get in somewhat of a comfortable position, feet on the ground, hands down to your side, and then we're going to breathe in through the nose. I'll count for you. We're going to breathe in through the nose to the count of four. Hold out through your mouth. Hold in through your nose. Hold out. Hold in. Hold out. hold, in, hold, out, hold, and then gently, naturally start breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth again. And as you do that, I want you to just kind of scan your body, noticing your hands and your legs and your feet, your shoulders, and notice if your number moved. For me, being able to do this particular grounding exercise or the box breathing, not only does it bring my heart rate down, but then it also it gives me the capacity to be able to, when grounded, maybe to start thinking about different. Different angles, different perspectives of whatever the setback is or whatever the threat may be. Um, Again, it very well is not going to change the circumstance in which you're in, but what it does is it gives you a place in which you can then be grounded, so that you can then look at. Maybe look at other options, look at other possibilities. Maybe something will come to you about someone to talk to or a resource to connect with. One of the other things that I do when I have some type of setback or some type of threat is that I utilize get on YouTube, get on Google, and then YouTube a particular resource. Maybe it'll be on resiliency, maybe it'll be on motivation, and then just allowing myself to kind of gravitate toward a particular video that I haven't seen for a while, or a new video that I've seen, and just allow myself to kind of explore, because there's something that happens when I watch a video that was made by someone else, and I see them overcoming, pushing themselves through something, or having compassion for themselves as they are going through a difficult time. Uh, that then gives me a mental model in which then I can um, bring up and then utilize when I'm having a struggling time myself. So two tips for today. One is the box breathing, or breathing into a count of four, or and exhaling out either to the count of four, or even doubling that to the count of eight for a grounding technique. And then the other uh, uh, technique or tip is to look for resources of other stories of other individuals that have stories of resiliency or overcoming when they've been knocked down, how they worked at getting back up. Seeing those mental pictures will then allow you to have that mental model that you can draw upon when you are having a setback. As always, I would encourage you to not only try these out, these different tips, try these out for yourself and see how they work for you, and share them with other individuals. If you know someone that may be going through a difficult time, it may be something that'll help them as well. As always, look forward to being with you next week.